already stated a couple of times, we're doing 50x today. Going further with 50x, we've done the general mechanics 2 weeks ago before I went to Europeans. So we're going now into entries from bottom position. So we're going to be doing something called a victor's roll. And before we start doing victor's rolls on each other, I thought it'd be a good idea to kind of wake our bodies up because it's like 6 in the morning and we're all tired. So we're going to just basically do a little bit of a forward roll exercise, but it's different from what we need because the victor's roll is a different kind of forward roll. We're starting in this position, and it's a no-armed roll. If you need to support, you can, but try to do it without your arms. But normally when we do a forward roll, can I move out of the way? If we do a forward roll, we're trying to kind of get some distance like this. And with the victor's roll, we're trying to do the exact opposite. We're trying as much as possible to kind of stay with our body in one place. So instead of trying to roll forward, what we're going to do is bring our shoulder to our knee, tuck our head in, and we want to go into this position. You should be able to hold it like this without doing much work, and then you just bring your legs up and roll through. So, if you can see, if I do a normal forward roll, so like starting here, okay? If I do a normal forward roll, I should be able to go both of the width of these two mats in one roll. That's kind of like the normal way a forward roll works. If I'm doing the victor's roll, ideally I shouldn't need more than this 1 meter mat space. So that's kind of the goal, to roll as short a distance as I possibly can. Okay? So just start with that because you're going to need that movement for the actual technique. And again, I'd like to let you guys wake your bodies up before we start heel hooking each other. Now if we go to the victor's roll, sorry. Some people don't speak English and need these videos. In the turtle. So our starting position, turtle, is that we're going to be in the turtle and our opponent is going to be in a position like this. Just a general note in the turtle, when you're on top, you're generally going to have your legs spread out a bit, okay? And we're going to be using that in our victor's roll. If I'm like this is actually not good for me because if he just like grabs one of my arms, exactly. He can just do a granny roll and toss me on my butt, and that's why I'm not going to do that. So that's why when you're in the turtle, you want a nice wide waist so that if he does try to do a granny roll or something, again, try to do a microphone. Now I've got my weight distribution a lot further. I can keep things a bit more stable on my side. I can also switch position out better. So this is a much better position for me. Okay? So just general notes, when you're on the top, keep that in mind. You don't want to have your legs, in general, you don't want to have your legs like this. This is just generally bad. Because, just put your knees together. Because anytime your knees are together, you just do that. So I always want a nice broad base. So now to our actual technique. So I'm in the turtle, and he's on top of me. Okay? Yeah. So this is what we're working from. Okay? Now we're going to victor's roll here into our heel hook, and this is why it's going to be important for us to have that stationary roll. Because if I try to roll forward now, he's just going to take my back. So what we're going to do instead is taking one of our legs, and you can post with an arm here, shoot it between his legs. Okay? And when I do that, I use the moment to grab his leg as well with the far side arm. And here's where that motion that I was talking about before is important, shoving your head behind him. Because again, if I just try to roll forward now, his weight's going to flatten. I cannot roll forward. But what I can do is shove my head forward like this, and now I'm behind him, and I can go into my 50x. And the cool thing is his heel is right here where I want it to be. And from here we go into our heel hook. showing that one more time with explanation, and I'll just demo it kind of slowly so everyone can see. Again, we're here, keeping our elbows in at the moment because I don't want them grabbing my waist or something, so I'm controlling my legs. I can actually I can post my hand to the floor and still keep my elbows in my hips so that he can't get an arm in here. And shoot, take the leg, and I'm not grabbing like this. I'm not grabbing with my fingers. I'm grabbing with my whole hand, what's known as wrist deep. Okay? And again, shoving my head through. If he rolls over, no problem. Generally speaking, someone's not going to fall over when you do that just because it's a shitty position for them. They're going to try and walk forward. But if he falls over, no big deal. I just go to a normal heel hook. Okay, so, and just one quick demo. No explanation, just me showing it so that everyone can see. So, partner up, give it a try. Since we're an odd number, I'm going to be working with everyone, so we'll just cycle through. Everyone does a round with me so that I can tell you what I think is terrible and what you need to change. Just a quick pointers with the 50x position. So when I'm in 50x, my main advantage is stay where you are. Don't try to hold me. My advantage in 50x is that the biggest problem for a heel hook is getting what we call heel exposure. So making sure that I get his heel somewhere that I can grab it and start locking. Okay. If I'm in a standard ashi, just roll over. If I'm in a more standard sort of heel hook situation like this, I think everyone's seen this a million times. My number one problem is his foot is on the ground. If he wants to keep me from grabbing his foot, all he has to do is put weight on his heel now, and now I start having problems. And he can start tucking his heel into my side, and now I have problems getting his heel, okay? That's the major disadvantage of these positions. This is an easy to find position. You can get in here very quickly, but you see you've really got to start working to grab his heel. Because if I don't have his heel from here, I can't really do much. In the 50x is part of a collection of positions called backside positions. And the whole advantage is that once I get into this sort of a position, I don't have to worry about heel exposure anymore. His heel is going up, so I automatically have heel exposure. His heel is right there where I want it. And I can immediately go into my locks. I also have the advantage that, let's say 80% of his heel hook defense is busy with something else right now. He can't grab my arms with his hands because they're too far away. He's facing this way, he can't really see what I'm doing. This leg isn't all that much help right now either. So a lot of the standard heel hook defense that he would do, he has a problem with in this position. So that's why these are such good positions. They're harder to find. You've got to do more work to get here. But once you're here, you've got a great position. This is probably the best position you can have to heel hook. Either 50x, double 50, 50 inside, any of these are great positions because I've neutralized so many of his defenses and I've got my heel exposure. So I'm 80% of the way to my submission. So when we are in that position, when our opponent has gotten a backside position on us, 90% of our defense is going to be not letting him get that foot. So if he gets a 50x on me, and the same would be true for double 50 or inside, backside, inside ashi or any of those. If he gets this position, it's going to be easier if you look over this way, actually. Because the first thing that I've got to do is protect this foot. Okay? I can't let him get this foot here, because if he gets his grip, it's pretty much over. If he gets this, I'm done. So I've got to prevent that grip. And the best way to do that, I basically plank. Okay? So I take this leg off the ground, put my feet, my weight on my hands, and now I want to push all my weight back onto my foot. I'm supporting about 80% of my weight on this foot. Now if he tries to bring it to his armpit, this is a lot harder. Okay? It's not 100%, but it buys me time. And in that time that he's trying to get my foot in his armpit, I can use my other foot to start stripping his hooks. And from here, I can just jerk my leg free. Okay? Again, on this side so that it's also in the camera. Okay? Again, so we're talking about prevention here. We have got to keep him from getting my foot in his armpit. That is our number one goal. Nothing else matters. So, again, all the way, a lot of people make the mistake of going here. Now I'm carrying most of my weight on my arms, and he can still get my foot up. The weight goes back. You should be feeling a lot of stress on your toes right now. Now he has a hard time. And bring your foot in here, strip that hook, pull your leg through. Alternatively, beginning will still be the same, but let's say you're worried about your balance and you don't think, or you're not flexible enough to get your foot into his inside hook, like I was doing. So, again, yes, yeah. Okay, so again, same beginning, but let's say you're just not flexible enough to get your foot here. Okay, that's not as big of a problem. It's best if you can bring it in here and start stripping hooks. That is the best solution, but one thing you can do, if you've got it nice and planted here, and he can't bring your foot to his armpit, you can backstep with your foot. You're still in a leg entanglement, but now you've got all your other weapons available. You can start kicking your foot free. Now you can do your standard heel hook escapes. So if it's not possible for you to bring your foot in and strip the hook, then you reverse it to a more standard inside position, which gives you all of your normal defenses again. So it's still, you still have to work, but it's a less horrible position. I don't want to say a better position, it's a less horrible position. Okay? So, you can make up. Okay, so again, partner up, very gently. No one tries to really heel hook anyone right now. Let your partner experiment with how he can keep you from getting your foot in his armpit and stripping the hooks and escaping, okay? So we're going to let each other work a bit because we're about to do some sparring with this and it's not pleasant.